Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Big Mac Garage. Today we are going to talk about the Dodge NP231 heavy duty. Um, Now I ran this transfer case in my Jeep, my 95 YJ. There are a few differences in the Dodge heavy duty unit that I thought you might be interested in. Some of you anyway. So let's get to it. Alright, so like I said, we're going to talk about the NP231 Dodge Heavy Duty. Now, this unit right here is out of a first generation Dodge Dakota with a V8. It had about 50,000 miles on it when I got it. I got a killer deal on it. It was like brand new. So I ran it with the factory Jeep tail, the output shaft, and now I'm disassembling it to do the slip yoke eliminator while I'm on COVID and bored and need to work on my Jeep. So we're going to talk about the differences between the Jeep and the Dodge heavy duty. So the first thing that most people go for when they go for this is the wider chain. Now you can see it's about a 1/4 inch wider. There you go. Now you can see how much wider that is. It's not a lot, but it helps. To replace that and to do that swap, you have to have your front output shaft right here. You're going to have to pull that out of your case from your donor or use the whole front half of the case, which is what essentially I did the first time. I used the only thing I changed was the output shaft. The other thing you're going to need for that drive swap is the sprag here, right here, the drive half and this shift sprag. You'll remove this snap ring and you pull both of these off of here, this drive gear that runs your chain and the collar ring. And this one's out of the Jeep. The other one doesn't have the shiny brass part for the synchro, but you'll need those. You'll just put them on your new shaft. If you're doing a SYE at the same time, you might as well do it then. It's easier. And then the other thing, now being as I have a YJ with the central axle disconnect, and I don't intend to trailer my rig. I may flat tow it on occasion as a plan, but it's going to be a driver and occasionally flat tow when I need to tow it. So the YJ with the central axle disconnect does not have a true neutral. You don't, because of the central axle disconnect, there is no need for the transfer case to have a true neutral, because that shift collar on your passenger side axle shaft actually disengages your front differential for you. So it can pretty much just always run and it'd be fine. That was the purpose behind it, was to eliminate the drive shaft from spinning. The one thing, I mean, if you're going to flat tow, you're going to want the shift selector out of a TJ or, in my case, a Dodge. I didn't know it until I busted it apart, but this is the original selector out of the Jeep YJ. Now this right here is your range selector. So it engages your Planetary set for your low range. And then up here is your, this one engages 4-wheel drive for low along with this. So this, as you can see, is very smooth. Now, if you look at the one in the Dodge, it isn't smooth and round like that. It comes like this and it's got a big V in it. And that's your neutral. And that was a huge win for me when I tore this apart. I was like, sweet! So, if you're going to get into a Dodge unit, that's something to know. Now, do you see the V here in the shift selector? Get my fingers in here. See, it's in neutral now. See that little V? And you notice the other one is smooth almost all the way across. And this one isn't. Now, another thing people like to do with the 231 is they like to try and get the 6-pinion Planetary. Now, in the YJ, you got a 3-pinion. Unfortunately, in the heavy-duty Dodge out of the Dakotas, you also have a 3-pinion Planetary. So that's a big bummer, but we'll see. Maybe I'll scavenge one somewhere else and throw it in here. Now, the Dodge is almost identical, except for, I mean, mechanically identical, except for from the case and tail housing out. So the tail shaft is different, the chain's wider, the shift selector is different. But the other big thing, this is out of the Jeep, the original YJ transfer case. Now you see this gold in here. Now, if you're not really familiar, this is a synchro. So this allows the gear to slowly slow down so the collar can slide over it. In other words, shift on the fly. The Dodge unit, this collar comes this way and then it slides over. But the Dodge unit does not have shift on the fly. Now, because the drive chain is so much wider, you can't take this this unit and use it on the other, because this cog is actually part of this drive chain. So that was the only downside I really had out of the swap, and it's just kind of one of those things that you might want to know. Now, these new process transfer cases were actually in a lot of vehicles, including Chevrolets, behind V8s. They're a very strong, stout transfer case. They're a good transfer case. Not 4-to-1. That's okay. For my build, that's more than adequate. 2-to-1, I believe. So, really, I'm not doing this video to show you how to do an SYE, because there's about 100 of those videos out there. I think you can figure it out. It's not real hard. But I wanted to cover some of the differences. And some of the big differences Jeep guys might want to know. So I hope you found this useful. And yeah, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.